There we go.
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and
You're a philosopher? Yes. 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 You're a philosopher? Yes.
To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the middle. To the east, to the north, to the west, to the south, above, below, and the center. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only galactic daddy-o welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. And I guess that's my motherfucking cue to come on in and say, what's happening? And as you know, as always, we only drink the best shit. We only smoke the best shit. And this is that one and only Elliot Nest. Elliot Nest Amber Lager. So, pop 'em if you got 'em. And you only know me, I drink out of the Applebee's exclusive Lions glass that if you didn't buy this in Michigan, you obviously don't have. And if you don't have it right now with the Elliot Nest, you are obviously not me, and you wish you could be me. You wish you could be me right now drinking this beautiful ambrosia from Great Lakes Brewing Company. And you just wish you, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. We just keep coming at ya. We also are on one. We are bringing the Luca Hookah to us. And we've got this beautiful, 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 beautiful. You know, this shit is legal in Michigan now, or here in Minnesota. We got this beautiful shatter. I don't know. The light might not. I don't know if you could see it. You can see it a little bit. But yes, so we getting it on. It's all legal up here, so it's all good. You got these bleeding hearts. Well, how are we gonna do the roads? Yeah, you know what? People on weed smoke drive slower. They drive slower, y'all. They drive slower. All right. Oh, who is on the verge of getting it on with me tonight? Oh, we ain't hit it yet. Let's see if it's going. Smoke them if you want them. Down. Yeah, I'm gonna get them. Okay. Ooh. Hit me with that bop gun. Got to get over the hump. Who's in the house? Bad beats. It hit different when you come in. Lorenzo, there goes the player. What's happening, Lorenzo? I gotta ask you one question.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches?
And what? I know Lorenzo controls his. Nicole B, welcome.
Got to have vision.
It's different when Nicole B comes in the house. I didn't pay no attention to the Knicks Heat game and fell asleep on the Warriors Lakers game. I watched the Tom Cruise movie, Minority Report. So I didn't even watch it. I'm glad I did. It helped my heart. Oh, and that is my main man right there, PJ Allen.
Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money.
That's what me and PJ Allen doing. We trying to make us some.
Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money.
That's what we doing. What's happening? That's my main man. B-Spot, what's happening?
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker.
It's too much, Rich.
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches?
I hope you can control yours. B-Pod, CH53, what's happening tonight? It's funny. And what I said about the game the other night was the perfect example of what I mean on how they do the games. You could see the energy just not there when the Lakers lost the other night. The energy was not there. And really, I guess I'll even, before I go into that, I had a great time tonight. I guess I should start with that. I had a great time tonight. I didn't watch the early game because, again, it's like sports dominated house. And it's just, sometime you got to capitulate and say, okay, we'll watch some shit. But I needed what we watched. I'll say that. And so it was one of the in-laws' birthdays, and so they were having it at this Mexican place. I guess that's the proper way to say it, Mexican. And I hesitated to go. I was going to stay home and watch the game. I'm glad I went. They had a mariachi band up in this motherfucker, and you know what I like? This is what I like. I like this. One thing I'll say about the Mexican brothers and sisters, the brown brothers and sisters, whatever you want to call it, and just really the melanated family. One thing I like about that part of our melanated family, when they go out, they be all G'd up. It was funny, when I got out the car, I was kind of checking out some of the sisters, and the sisters was all like, I was like, oh, the sisters, I was like, oh, it's this kind of place. Because the sisters was on their shit, the sisters got out the car, and even though it was rainy and stuff, a couple of sisters it was too rainy and cold to be in shorts, but again, trying to be cute. And so we get in this place, and of course, you know what I'm wearing. I'm just got the 505 originals, not that stretchy shit. What shirt? Damn, I don't even. Oh, I opted for the polo collared shirt and shit. Opted for that. Just on the humbug, just like fuck it. I wear one of the button downs, and of course the gold with the gold embroidered polo riders in the back, and I got the Jordan 36 on. So I appreciate, and see, I think Sly was talking about that the other day, where you don't you want to be around motherfuckers that's where you at. You want to be around motherfuckers that's all dressed nice, that's all got gold, all got diamonds. That's the kind of place you want to be. If you do go out. And everybody there was on point. I was the baddest dressed nigga up in there. I definitely know that. My shit, that baseball gold rider, the gold rider, that shit. It can't be cleaner than that. I know how to dress. My dress be impeccable. Fuck wearing a Mason suit. When I get married, yeah, I'm gonna wear a Mason suit when I get married. But other than that, I am a hero twin. Fuck wearing a suit. It's no more gator, just comfortable shoes. Now, whatever your style is, but my style is warm-up suits and sports attire. That's what I want to wear most of the time. Now, again, if it's places where I got to dress a little different, okay, I can do that too. But that's really what I would rather wear. Jeans and some shit, top whatever. And it's like the family I was with, everybody was kind of bitching about the mariachi music. Motherfuckers, I'm up in there lit. So the music is there. The people are all beautiful. The servers are all beautiful. And, they just cool with us. They bring me a big beer that's this color. And, I'm digging it, And it's like the music and everybody that has a birthday, they come, My in-law, it was their birthday. So, they came over and played loud. They had a trumpet player that was killing it. And I saw he was killing. I heard he was killing. I heard him playing in the other room. I was like, damn, that trumpet player hits different. That trumpet player hit that part. So I had a good time. Man, they gave me, I get fajitas and they cut up some shit. When you get fajitas, they give you about 6 plates. You know what I'm saying? They give you about 6 plates. I was on a table damn near by myself. They gave me so much food. And they played this live music. I was a little upset, wasn't no game, but you know what? I got the game on the phone. So if the sports bar, oh, and they let me tell you, and they had some shit that again, I'm in here tripping as it is. I'm just digging with the other melanated folks, and I'm looking at their TV, and it's a doctor's soap opera. And the soap opera, like they're in a hospital, but it's like the nurses' outfits is like Chef Boyardee and shit. The nurse had like a Chef Boyardee hat on. I mean, it was a Scully, but it was just, and then the way the pockets was, it looked like she was more about to make a pizza than she was about to motherfucking save somebody. So, I'm tripping off this shit. And then they show the dude laying in the bed. This obviously he got jelly on his face and shit. So I had a lovely time tonight. Um, Let me catch up on who came in. I control it like a robot. Chapman.
Got to have vision.
To come watch me. Hey, they're gonna push this series for as long as they can to siphon enough money. This is why I disagree. This is where I disagree. They try. Okay, let me tell you how they do it. Remember when Iverson made the NBA Finals, and Iverson and Philadelphia won the first game, and they lost the next four. The gamblers won their money on that first game. I mean, we can go back and look at the odds, but they won their money on their first game. So despite it going 5, they hit the lick on the first game because everybody bet for Kobe and them on that first game. And I think that was the Lou. Now they got the little girl doing Iverson's move, in the commercial. And I think that was the game where they beat them game 1, and then they lost the next 4. But that's so. And like we talked before, when San Antonio wins the championship, the ratings was the lowest. So it's not necessarily about pushing the game, games. Right now it's about the bets. I say more than pushing the games. It's about the bets. So yes and no. The Warriors look like yeah, exactly. The effort just ain't there. You can see where the effort's not there. Yeah, it was like the league told him to take the night off. I'll agree. What's good? You got that? Thank you.
Got to have vision.
El Dragon, thank you for joining me. That's exactly how you are. Okay, wipe you down. There you go.
Got to have vision.
Too many threes. Well, that's their game. Don't need a Red Bull because he's so fly. He have wings his own. You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. Oh, you ain't never lied. Oh.
You're a philosopher? Yes. 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 Yes.
No.
You're a philosopher? Yes.
There we go. OTF, what is happening? Yes, it was jelly. It was like, I'm in there lit anyway. I go in there, I'm looking good, I'm glowing. I'm just going in there glowing, and I just forget that when I go places, I'm just, my vibe and my vibration and my aura, and just the way I'm like moving, it is like, it's just, I fit in. And, it's like, I ain't got to be famous to be me. You dig? For people to talk to me and people to want my advice. I ain't got to be famous for that shit. It's just people gravitate to me the way I just naturally am. It's like people don't even, like imagine some people say, well, you got new clothes. People don't even notice the clothes I wear because the clothes I wear all the time is new. If you understand. So it's never like, well, you got something new. Because that used to be my running joke with the family. The family, like my mother-in-law especially, and rest in peace, rest in power for Lynn. But my joke with Lynn was like, is that new? And I'm like, no, I had it. So, it was a good day. I can't wait to go back. Devontae, what's happening? It's different when you go, hey, it did. Jelly all, oh. Hey, PJ. It was definitely, it was like it was supposed to be a big scratch on his head here, but it was clear. It wasn't even chocolate, like it was jelly. And then it was like jelly on his jaw right here. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, the game is on the table on my phone. And I'm looking at this shit. And I done had a beer or two, and I'm just laughing at this shit. And then the nurse comes in there with more of a cooking hat and a cooking shirt than a nurse coat. And this is what had me really like, when you go somewhere, you just think this shit might make you trip out. One of the Brown sisters came on TV wearing a lace front. She came in there with a wig hat on. And I'm looking like, now wait a minute, how could your hair be? I'm like, now this is a sister, a Mexican sister, and like, do you have a wig on? And so, that had me tripping too. Oh, but let me tell you what got my attention to watch the stuff. This is what got my attention to watch the stuff. So, I really wasn't paying attention. And the first scene comes on is this dude. Whoops, let me run it back. This person, long face, big cheeks, and the person like was talking, and the hand was big as the phone. But I guess it was supposed to be a female police officer. But it was like, that caught my attention the first. I mean, the hand was bigger than my hand. This is a pretty big phone, and the person's hand was so big, when the person went to the phone, you couldn't even see the phone anymore, like a man. A man would put his hand. That's what got my attention. So I had a good time with all of them, I'm telling you, like they was perfect host. So I'm getting the 2 beers, and I guess it's a little bit of Cinco de Mayo, people kind of celebrating Saturday too. So it was kind of weird. Like every 10 minutes, this this young lady, this cute young lady came by with a cart, and she asked me if I wanted a shot. I was like, whoa, this is, you knew I was thinking about you. So I grabbed my little pack, popped in the gummy, and I'm like, hey, sister, thank you for coming. And she would hook me up. Don't you know, about as soon as I would get with that, she would be done, came around and came right back. Man, I loved it. The service, man, they brought me the food. The shit was sizzling and shit, and I'm like eating with like both hands. You understand? I got 2 tortillas, the fajitas, you do all the fajitas and you mix everything together. And I'm like, I'm ambidextrous, so I got one in this hand and one in this hand, and I'm just having a good time. And then I would put them down. The young girl would come by with the shots and shit. I'd had a shot. Man, I had fun. The mariachi band was playing. It was like, when Kanye was like, oh, 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 they was jamming, y'all. I had a good time. Mind me of the time I went to this restaurant in Vegas, and the food kept laughing. I was high as hell looking at it. Why is food keep laughing? I started laughing. Hell yeah. LeBron might play into his 50. Big P fine like an E when he sold no evil. Oh my goodness! And let me tell you. So I'm an old man, so I drank a couple of beers, and I had to go to the bathroom eventually. I walked to the bathroom, and I saw 2 securities. And one security was like, he was kind of in my way walking to the bathroom, and I looked at the brother, and the brother probably saw I was a little lit too. The brother was like, "What? The bathroom blocked?" And the dude got out my way, and the brother just laughed. But when I saw him, I was like, okay. And this is what it reminded me of. Now I told this story many, many times. For years, I refed semi-pro. It was just Mexican brown brothers. That's all it was. But when we wrote the contracts up, they told us, they came in because it was like maybe 8 teams. So they was playing maybe 10 teams. So they played each other over, and they had a tournament. But they came in and said, look, every game is gonna be a fight. So he said, don't try to stop it. Just let them fight. And then after they get done fighting, they'll start playing. And I've told this story before. And this happened in Kalamazoo, Michigan at, it's called Douglas Recreational Center on Patterson Street. And every game for the whole season, we did 3 games a night. And sure enough, every game, it was a fight. I mean, like 5-on-5 fighting, benches. But it was like they would fight, And once they was done, sure enough, they would start hooping again. It was just, and I guess they got out of the arguing. They were the arguing and stuff, but it was just just the whole vibe gave me that kind of vibe. But as I said, I looked at everybody and everybody's G'd up. The girls is trying to be cute, and all the dudes is dressed, if you understand. And I like that. Like we talk about being around homeless people that's what you want. You want to be around places where everybody is dressed up. You go out, you at least want everybody to be dressed up. Because if everybody is at a certain standard, ain't nobody really thirsty. If you dig. Now, it's substandard and but in that, I know you can break all that down. But I'm saying in just general. And you know me, I'm just like, my shit is like immaculate. I have fun with the shit. So, I'm still, well, thank you for joining. I'm still I think I'm gonna just be out on a limb and say Lakers, Philly. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Lakers, Philly, 83. I don't know though. Lakers, Philly, 83, or it could be Lakers, Philly. If it was like Lakers, Philly, 79, that number 15, Reeves, it would be his series. He would do what Magic did. So maybe that's it. Lakers, I don't know. Because what's interesting is, remember before the game, they were saying the competition. Who was it? Was it Stephen A. Smith that said that Curry would catch up with LeBron if he win one more, or catch up with LeBron and tie him and Curry? And I thought that was interesting that they brought those points up. That Steph would tie Curry and LeBron with one more win. And I thought that was interesting. And Magic. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, wow, okay, they brought that up. Now I want to say this. Is it true that Bronny's going to USC? Is anybody else heard that today? That Bronny signed with USC? Did anybody else hear that today? Now, is that true? That Bronny signed with USC? Because that's what I came across, that Bronny signed with USC. And I thought somebody else would, let's see. I didn't double check, but that's what somebody told me. Here we go. Yeah, that's what it is. The word is, he signed with USC. Yeah, Bronny commits to USC. Yep, so Bronny did commit to USC. What's right, Greg Deep? I heard it. Okay, Denver and Boston. Never's been there. Denver and Boston. Gosh, has Denver ever played in the finals? What Denver team has even played in the finals? Am I off on that? Denver didn't join until 77. Has Denver ever even made the finals? I don't know. As I've said before, the only ABA team to win the finals has been San Antonio. I don't think they'll let any of the other ABA teams win a championship. So keep that in mind. You heard it. Nicole Bay say, yeah, Bronny's going to Southern Cal. Yup. PJ said, yeah. Yup, okay. I don't know what's wrong with Peel. Valerie McDaniels, thank you for joining. He said you have to take Brian down off Mount Rushmore and replace him with Curry. Curry's missed more time than LeBron. He hasn't been as durable. Curry turnovers has always been his problem, and defense. Curry's problem his whole career has been turnovers and defense. Again, we don't know what he would be without basket manipulation, but even just his total game. And I've said this before. I think he suffered too, the same as others suffer from legs, is wearing those new type of shoes. Uh, it just seems like what's his name, Lonzo Ball. Look at his legs. That first year wearing those shoes. So I just can't put Curry there because he doesn't. His turnover to assist ratio, again, he's supposed to be a one guard. Clay's supposed to be a two guard, but yet they're both two guards. Steph is not a true one guard. He has too many turnovers to be a true one guard. He's technically a two. Yeah, Denver's never been to the finals. Yeah, exactly. Boston, well, yeah, it's strong for Boston just because Bill Russell and then that girl that their PR lady just died. That's hard to get out of ritual. That's hard to get out of ritual right there. To me, that's like if there's any sway to Boston, that would be the sway. But again, it's all about matchups. Uh and ultimately, but the thing with Boston and what they're gonna have to also consider is New York is the mecca of news. It's just no way to get around it. New York, news wise and information wise, New York is the world's mecca. The most gold in the world is in New York. and I only say that to say that they, we could again look at New York versus the Lakers. Knicks versus the Lakers would go back to 1970. Or we could go back to 1971. Because I think they both went both years. I think they both went both years. 70, 71. And then the Knicks won it again in 73 with Earl Monroe. So that's a possibility. You got to think about the Knicks and the history and what the league likes and the narrative. So don't knock that narrative off yet, putting Boston over them. So it's kind of hard to see yet. Google Pixel commercial with Joe and B showed me who might be this year. Okay. So again, I look at the scenarios of past histories, and as I said, Knicks, Lakers, and that's which ones we got to narrow down. If it's gonna be Knicks, Lakers, which Knicks, Lakers are we looking at? Is it 70, 71, or 73? Because in 71 and 73, the Knicks prevailed. Now we got Boston again. If we get Boston Lakers, it's a ray. It's a ray of things. Now I'll tell you unfavorable matchup. I'll tell you unfavorable matchup as far as history. If it becomes Philly Warriors, that would be unfavorable to the Warriors because that would put us in the 67 championship. Wilt's first championship. So if we end up getting Philly and the Warriors, that would be a replay of the 67 championship where Philadelphia won. I'll put that on wax. If we get that, that's what that's going to be a replay of the 67. And I must be the first to say that. If we get those two teams in the finals, Philadelphia will beat the Warriors because it's going to be a replay of 67. So wanted to get that one out the way. So that's how you got to look at all this. It's like history. The Heat right now, of all the teams in, the Heat has the less amount of history. The Heat in Denver, as far as is history, as far as finals history, and that's what they really like. They like finals history. Now we saw what they did with the Toronto, and we can't forget that one reason why they wanted a title in Toronto because the first NBA game, I believe, was with Toronto and the Knicks. And it might have even been in Toronto. If it wasn't in Toronto, it was definitely Toronto was one of the teams. So this is why they gave Toronto a championship. because it was that first game. But sports in general don't like new teams winning. It's like a flash in the pan as far as marketing. It's better when the older teams win because again, it's a lot more history, a lot more to sell than trying to sell this newer stuff. So that's my only thing. So yeah, that's my thing with Boston. Yeah, and yeah. Embiid did win the MVP, which is very surprising. But you know what? You know why Embiid won the MVP? Because of Big Perk. I think Big Perk is the reason that Embiid won the MVP. Was Big Perk. Because Big Perk bust him out. Big Perks, and so, and it's interesting they kept him without penalizing him for saying that. What he said, because he was right. Said you got all these Europeans voted in these Europeans, and you see Embiid won. So shout out to Big Perk. Shout out to Big Perk. Oh. All right. Valerie, Perk went on that campaign. Yeah. So Perkins, Big Perkins, that played for he won a championship with Boston. He's on ESPN. That's who. I mean, to me, looking from the outside in, that helped. That helped because that made them. See, what's interesting is it just makes you. Did they write that script even? If you see, because he didn't get penalized for doing that. So they can even came up with because he doesn't seem like he's a very sophisticated person. So they can even set all that up for him to say that because they didn't penalize him, but yet it helped him be Embiid. And it could have been maybe they was looking for an excuse because the analytics they was trying to push. They was trying to push the European again through the analytics. So, we got to look at all of it. He didn't get penalized, so it was probably scripted for him to do that campaign. But I'll say that helped. I do say that helped. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Big Perk did help that. I thought Big Perk helped that. Woo. I had it. Oh, there we go. Shit, do it. There we go. There we go. All right. I can see Denver and Philly finals for two reasons. Okay, 77 season. The last time a team from the West to win it, it's not from Cali or Texas that's active, was in 77. Also, that finals featured the 76ers. Yeah, because Portland came out 76-77 season. That was Bill Walton's season. And they beat, because I know that Portland, let me think. That Portland team beat Kareem with Cazzie Russell. Yeah, it was early. That was maybe Kareem's 74. He was with the Lakers. So second, third year in LA. And I remember I thought that when they got beat, I remember Cazzie Russell had a good series, but they still lost. Good point. Good point. So okay, 77 was that was the merger season. 76-77. Well, was it? Or was it 77? No, 76-77 was merger season. Because when Dr. J won it, it was 75-76 season. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, when maybe 77 was merger season? I don't know. I'm an old man and y'all. But yeah, I think 77 was merger season. But to put Denver through, okay, would Denver win? That's the thing. Could Denver win? They put Denver in, would Denver win? I don't know about that. I don't know if they would let Denver win. Because again, you got an ABA team. I don't know. That's interesting. That's good information though, Lorenzo. I appreciate it. But I don't know if they'll let them get in. We'll see. Man, y'all, I don't know what's going on in the world today. I haven't paid much attention. But I know y'all like to see what's going on with these people, these people up here in the Great White North. You know, I saw they show some stuff with Lori Lightfoot. I thought she was voted out. And now they're like, no, she's not voted out until the next week. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. I guess sports was the most interesting thing today, which is the most interesting thing every day. Yeah, it wasn't too much going on here. That's a good thing. Oh, no. Oh, I think I got a story for y'all. I don't know about this. Let's check it out. I know nothing about this story. Well, let's check it out. What's going on in the Great White North? I don't know. They might have something to say.
Our neighborhood has police on high alert tonight. Assault, disorderly conduct, fleeing police, and curfew violations were some of the citations.
Damn, assault. 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 Oh, assault. 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 Okay, what else?
Issued to teenagers who showed
what?
alert tonight. Assault, disorderly conduct, fleeing police, and curfew violations were some of the citations issued to teenagers who showed up in large crowds last night. WCCO's Kirsten Mitchell talked with the university.
Man, would you mind being the... Oh, no. You know the best? You'd be like Batman. Remember when Batman went into the police station and was just beating up all the police? Wouldn't you like to just beat up teenagers like that? But anyway, let's go.
University police chief and Minneapolis chief about the night and how they hope to prevent it from happening again.
Leftover drinks and trash litter the streets of Dinkytown, remnants of a chaotic Friday night.
Juveniles throwing drinks at people. Another one.
Okay. Why is the chief got a vest on? Why does the chief have a vest on?
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What?
Are we supposed to believe that the chief was out there when all this ruckus happened?
What are we doing?
Are we supposed to believe that he was really out there? Come on, let's go, Chief. Okay, Eddie, I'm sorry, Chief. Let's go. Let's hear what you got.
At a different restaurant, juveniles throwing rocks.
Problems began around 10:30 with a group of 50 people, mostly teenagers from out of town.
Some of the people from Edina.
Wait a minute. Edina is not from out of town. Edina is part of the Twin Cities. This is all together. If they was from West St. Paul, you can't say they're from out of town because this is all one. You can't count 3.5 million people and then say, well, part of the 3.5 million people is out of town. These trains go to Edina. These buses go to Edina. So no, out of town is fucking Stillwater, Rochester. That's out of town. But to say Edina is out of town, you are tripping. You are tripping. That is not out of town.
Eden Prairie.
Eden Prairie is not out of town. I live in Burnsville. I live further away than Eden Prairie. That is not out of town. That's part of Twin Cities. You see what he's lying?
The Brooklyn.
You're lying out of your face. You are lying. We need Dick Gregory. Where's Dick at? Where's Dick Gregory at? Where you at, Dick? Oh, there we go.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
See? Lying.
In a span of 3 hours, 9 people were cited. Of those, 6 were arrested, including an 18-year-old with fireworks and a baseball bat.
Now, really, really, like, okay, say I had a bar down there and they was really bothering my bar. It wouldn't be hard to get a group of 50 adults to beat the 50 teenagers up. I mean, it really would. Maybe it came down to a Royal Rumble. All right, let's go. I like the Jordans right there. Let's go. That's kind of nice right there, too. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Citations range from assault and disorderly conduct to fleeing police and curfew violations.
We will not tolerate these types of
Okay, that requires a vest? Did that really require a vest?
disorderly acts. We won't tolerate these assaults.
Look, he looked like he been tanning and got a sunburn, or he been wearing his little hat too much, but I don't know. Let's go.
And these kinds of things.
Seeing a video of someone violently assaulted, it's painful.
Wait a minute. Who is she? Campus safety. Wait a minute. Why did they show her? The campus is on the other side of the Mississippi. Well, it's on both sides, but it's further away than downtown. So what does the campus got to do with anything? It's some smaller campuses, but why are you here? Why are you here? Let's go.
And it's scary and it's frustrating.
Erin Brum is a parent of a student and serves on the board of the Campus Safety Coalition, a group concerned about the safety of students.
We've got a graduation that people are trying to prepare for, and we have students that are in finals right now.
Okay, Dinkytown is near campus. Okay, my bad. Dinkytown is near campus. My bad. You're right. But let's go.
No, they don't need this.
Chief Matt Clark.
Okay, why has he got a vest on? Is this the fire chief or no? He says police. He don't even look like he got his gun on or nothing. He's got a full vest and everything. He's got the camera. Why doesn't he have the camera? Look, this is the chief of police. Why does he need the camera? This is all optics.
Of the university's Department of Public Safety says they have officers in Dinkytown nightly.
The response was immediate, it was quick as possible, and it was effective.
They recently added more cameras, lighting, and...
Did y'all catch that? All right, they're both chiefs. This is the campus chief of police. So they're a separate entity. But they would still get their... what's interesting, okay. You know what's interesting? I was a campus police officer. But you know how I got my jurisdiction? I was actually a deputy sheriff. Now, I can't say that that's, this, but that's, for me to have jurisdiction, I had to be a deputy sheriff. Because my first actual day on work, they took me to the sheriff's office. I was a campus police officer, but they took me to the sheriff's office, and I had to, that's who swore me in. Not my chief of police that like him. Not this dude that would have been my chief of police at campus. He didn't swear me in. The sheriff. I had to go to the sheriff's office, and the sheriff swore me and my friend in. And that's some shit. So I didn't even know that. So this is like, man, we got 5 or 6 police in the area. Wow, or more than that, but I didn't even know about it.
And it was effective.
They recently added more cameras, lighting, and emergency blue kiosks.
We want these juveniles arrested, and we want something to happen to them, not a wrist slap. And I suppose that's where it starts, with the Hennepin County Attorney's Office.
Everyone who was arrested overnight Friday has since been released. In the coming nights, Chief O'Hara says to expect more officers.
To the extent that we can control things, we will be present, we will be highly visible, we will seek to deter this type of behavior before it happens.
Look, they got horses. Do you understand? As I said before, if you're a young person and you're in this area, this is a great place to go party. Dinkytown they're right. There's more to campus, and then there's downtown. As I said before, it's 20, 30,000 people be downtown any given Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And when it's a game in town or something like that, it almost doubles that. It used to be so many cops downtown. Because again, 15 to 20,000 people, 15 to 20,000 people is a lot of people to deal with. but they're used to dealing with this. We've had Super Bowls, we've had NCAA championships here. Do you understand? So now they say they just, a summer hot, a early, spring, spring day, they can't control juveniles. And all of them are out.
And at the instant one of these kids acts out and we are there, we will enforce the law.
In Minneapolis, Kirsten Mitchell, WCC.
Yeah, tough on children. They're tough on children. They're tough on children, y'all. Oh man. Oh man, I don't know, y'all. Oh man, where's all this craziness in the world come from, y'all? It's just like if you look for it, it is just the world is crazy. Crazy insane. Isn't that what they say? Crazy insane? Crazy insane. Second season Embiid won MVP and Joker finished second. Plus in Gematry, Philly 223-6-1. Game 1 is June 1st. Wow. Denver, Philly, man. I don't see where that fits. I'm gonna have to ponder that. Because that would really be different. And I'd say Philly would have to get it. I'd have to get it. Texas shooting. It's the same. Hey, Greg, thank you for joining.
Damn.
Thank you for joining. You have to. Okay. Oh, no, that's it. This is what I got to say for the Texas shooting. You have to stop and think. What does that mean to me? That's what it is. What does it mean to you? That's what it is. Plus 2 foreigners. That's the face of the teams in the finals. Now that could be it right there. That could be it, Lorenzo. That's right. 2 foreigners face. So that's it, Greg Deep. It's like, what does it mean to me? What does that mean to me? And what's the agenda behind it? I mean, think about this. I don't know if we talked about it, but there was a shooting in some school overseas. And let's remember, it's a movie. It's a movie you can watch about the shooting overseas. Remember when everybody was at a park somewhere? They was camped and they killed all the people that was at the camp. Remember that movie? So this, it was a shooting in a school overseas. So we know what the agenda is. But what's interesting is it's a time of war. There's a war going on in the world, and really, people forget that wars ain't never stopped. Syria has been in a nonstop war for what? The last 10 years? They talk about stories in other countries and stuff. I think it was in Syria where they talk about not the king and the ruler in Syria now, but his daddy. And his daddy like wiped out some people that was against him and just paved over where they all lived. So that the neighborhood and nothing ain't there. It's just a road, just paved area. Now, is that propaganda from the West? I can't say. But it's pictures to show what was there before and what's there now. So war has always been constant. I mean, what is it? The Sudan is at war now? Right? So there's always war. There's always war. And think about our government. Our government allocates money. And if you know what that means, it's like when you allocate money, the money has to go somewhere. And so the way they legally give money to Ukraine is there's allocation of military funds on countries we help that are already allocated. So the money has to go somewhere. But it can't go to anything else other than this. And this is, what we vote for. We vote for the people that allocate money. So there's money that's allocated that had to go to some war that's fighting whatever we go fighting against. And that's how Ukraine gets money. So yeah, I think the shooting was in Berlin. Yeah, Nicole B. It was a school shooting. And again, it's not the first time something like that happened. But yeah, so so the state of war is always there. Um, is there a real answer? I mean, there's not as many shootings in states that people know that people got guns. I mean, it's proven the schools the teachers and people got guns. It's proved that they're not vulnerable. So it's easy to stop something like that. Again, as I talked about the other night, if they really wanted to stop drugs and immigration from South America, they could easily do it. Because we know how their military works. I mean, these are nasty people.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama and you.
This is what we have in secret and special ops. We have psychopaths that know nothing and would kill on any whim from their controllers. So you can't tell me that they can't release these psychopaths in Mexico to take out these cartels. Because if they really wanted to take them out, they could. They could easily take them out. And they choose not to. They choose not to take them out. So does that make them part of the problem? Again, we're talking about allocating money and allocating personnel to stop something that you say is an obvious threat. How hard is that? If they wanted to take the cartels out, they could take them out. Again, in the 1850s, they invaded Mexico and went all the way down to Mexico City. So you telling me they can't go into Mexico and take out all the cartels? Who did the cartels get their weapons from? You think the cartels can just order Stinger missiles and shit and shoot down American jets? Do you think that's allowed? Remember back in what year was it? 84, 85? They said the L. Ripkins tried to buy some Stinger missiles from Libya and was going to shoot some, remember that? Was it that kind of deal? Can they get that kind of stuff? Do you guys really think that the cartels could get that kind of stuff to fight the U.S. Army? They can't get any supplies or anything. I mean, do you know what a barricade is? When you live, especially if you're landlocked and if it's one of the cartels that are landlocked and get supplied from outside and it don't be on the ocean. I mean, it would be easy to squeeze these people and put them out of business. We've got the resources. It would be easy. If they wanted to quit, if they wanted to stop this, they could easily do it. So obviously they don't want this. Now, some of the way they're trying to hit back at them is by making things legal. Because the cartels, one thing that has hit them hard is legalization. Legalization has hit them very hard. And as each state legalizes it, the cartels make less and less. But I'll say this, the cartels aren't going away. I mean, other weed is not going away. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess I do know. And that is the here we go, I think. Trying to catch this. No, it's terrible. Oh, not so terrible. Okay, no, I don't want that. Oh, I want this. Okay. All right. I think we can do this. I gotta pee. So I'll play this while I pee. Okay. Let's see. I want to start where? Just let it play. Hell, I guess. It's a couple years ago. I don't know if it. I want to get into this part. Let's see. No. Okay, maybe here. Still no. Maybe okay. Right in here. Huh. I didn't realize I did this a couple times. Okay, I'm gonna have to go through this again. Okay. I'll just play it as it is. I'm sorry, I gotta pee. I'll just play it as it is. All right. Guess I had a couple shows. All right. So enjoy some of this vintage. Oh, gotta take it off of there. Okay.
Nurture that.
All right. Here we go.
Now, do you help with like anxiety through meditation, to get rid of anxieties and those kind of things? Do you help people with that?
Yes, because what we do is we bring you into the now. So we help you to be mindful, right? And so when I'm guiding you, you're concentrating on my voice, which will help you come into the now. So, when I do the meditations, I also have people do deep breathing, and then we go through the body too, and we release any stress that we might be carrying. And then I try to bring your awareness into the heart space. We're working together to do that. So that kind of, when you're not thinking about the past or the future, that's where the anxieties are. And that's why we
Mhm.
want to be in the now. Because again, that's where your power is. You can't fix what's already happened, and you don't know what's going to be the future. So
Mhm.
why put those energies that can't help you, that can't serve you? Being in the now is the most powerful that you can be in that state. And Eckhart Tolle teaches that. His teachings are always about being in the now, being in the present.
I have one of his books. Now you said Eckhart.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have one
Mhm.
of the books somewhere around here. I
Mhm.
know that name. Wow.
Yep.
And that's powerful. That's really
Yep.
powerful what you're saying. And it takes away the flightiness that comes from wanting to manifest because
Right.
people truly don't. I guess in some ways people don't know how to manifest.
Right.
What do you think about that? Do you think people, or do you hear people saying they want certain things and they're trying to manifest? And what do you think? Do you think they actually know how to go about it, or what do you find?
Well, it depends where they are consciously too and where they are on their path, right? Again, it's how are you going to put forward that dream or that desire? Are you going to do it in a positive way? Are you going to do the actions? First, you have to ask, right? So this
Mhm.
is what I learned from watching The Secret. It talks step in detail how to manifest things. So by asking, by believing, by having gratitude and being thankful, and then knowing and knowing that you've already received it.
Mm. Now, Jeffrey asked a question. I am an empath and I don't like it. Do you
Mm.
have any advice for that?
Um, that's who you are. You're an empath. There's things that you can do to protect yourself, not moving into the energies of others, but that's your gift. You know, m- Instead of fighting it, maybe go into it. moving into that energy. But truly, if you don't want to, then there's ways to protect yourself. You can protect yourself through God's white light. You can call in the archangels. You can call in your guides. You can also ask that you no longer have this. Speak to God, speak to the creator, to source, however you call whatever you believe in, and ask them that you don't want to be an empath. You don't want to feel other people's energies.
I'm designing a serene patio space and I cannot find the perfect love seat. Google has this.
I mean, I just, because I could feel that.
Feel it, yes.
I could really feel the person
Yep.
getting injured that I'm watching. And so
Yeah.
soon, like they replay injuries and I would just have to turn
Yeah.
away because I could feel it. And
Yeah.
that was the first instance that I knew I had those kind of abilities because I couldn't even watch a person. Now, boxing's a little different. I could watch a person get knocked out. But football, I could not watch people get injured. Guy sprained his ankle, even basketball.
Yeah.
I would feel that pain almost
Yeah.
immediately. And I would be like, oh, but that's what I learned to do. I'd be like, oh. And now another part of it is don't read everybody. Don't try to feel everybody. Like I was telling you, like going out to the Mall of America, I could get a glimpse of almost everybody's life I would run into, but that's overwhelming. That is just, it's too big of a load. And so I guess I'm saying is don't take on a big load. If you see you have these sensitivities, scale back, scale back or even learn to turn it off. I think, you can turn it off instead of giving it away, because if you give it away, you're not going to get it back.
All right, that was some good stuff a couple years ago, We was just talking and shit, philosophizing and shit. I just be shopping and shit, drinking and shit, do a little smoking and shit. And that's all, y'all. He's just philosophizing that night, So that's all it is. That's all it is. Where y'all? Let me see. Yo. Who there? Who? Why am I missing where I should be, man? That. Suck. I just got the same thing open twice. Let's go back. All right. Turn that off. Okay. The Suns. Do you see the Suns woke? No, I do not see any way the Suns could win. I don't. Suns in Denver, I would say they have the least probability of winning. I see what Lorenzo's saying, but Denver winning, I can say, okay, if Denver makes it, because remember the Suns made it a couple years ago, didn't they? And so, but then winning, I don't know. I don't know about the Suns winning. Suns have never won. Valerie, yeah, mindful awareness, yeah, definitely. I try to bring a little spiritual element into it. That's all. A little spiritual element into it. That's all I'm having fun with. Well, along with the sports, because everything has to be practical. You have to look at even the study of the sport and how it's scripted. It has to be practical and be able to to break it down and how is it done. And again, for those that bet and make that their lives, all this, use it all. There's not just one way. And I'll say this with gematria, don't just rely on that if you think that's the key to voting, to betting. It's not just the gematria. I would say listen to some of the stuff me and what Lorenzo's saying and some others is getting the total picture. Because the gematria dudes get caught up so much in the numbers, without really the real history of the league and the players, because we've got to consider all this. That's why I say I bring up all these old matches, because that's what they look at. That's how, as I say, the mastermind is an egghead dude in the room that loves this. He is like in the Matrix, the old Colonel Sanders in the Matrix. Remember they had Colonel Sanders was the creator, which was another Borgia, and he had all the screens. Well, I mean, it's really like that. I mean, imagine now with the betting and the in-game betting, it is the egghead Colonel Sanders, Jacob. Is a Jacob sitting there, the big head scientist. Jacob means big head scientist. They're sitting in a room with all these screens and all these bets. And imagine, think about this for a second. Imagine you create a video game and people start buying and participating in your video game. And you can set up a video game where you have separate teams or separate individuals that whatever the game, they play each other. And it's your game, but their championship. You understand? It's your game, but it's their championship. And so they've got this big head dude in the thing, and he's again looking at the most ways they can make the total amount of money with the most acceptable script. And as I've said many times, just like the girls' basketball. Remember, the men's game, you forgot about it in a couple days. But remember how they want to keep the games alive? Remember how I was saying, these things want events to last longer than just the day it happened. That's why they give these difficult endings, surprising endings. That's why the thing with the young ladies with the hand gestures, it's making these events longer, making them have life past the event. They love that. The same way the Grammys with all the red and the devils kind of stuff. They love that people keep saying, well, there's the devil stuff in the Grammys, then there's other awards with the devil stuff. And of course it's there, but again, this is how they make these events last longer than the day they happened. And they count on this. And I've talked about this for years. So now, how can a Lakers fan easy? Several teams outside of Cali and Texas have been to the finals in the 90s. So, J-Ski, well, put it out there. J-Starsky, put it out there. Let me see. Texas. Who else? Pistons, 90s. You got the Pistons, Heat, Cleveland, Boston, 90s, early 90s. Pistons, Portland, Bulls, Phoenix, 90s, right? Phoenix. Phoenix, Michael Jordan beat Utah. We have Utah 3 or 4 times. Yeah, so yeah, we would have to add them. So yeah, those teams, but they hadn't won it. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, they want to talk about it for the energy. Exactly, El Dragon. Exactly. Yeah, they haven't won it. You're right, Lorenzo. But yeah, it was interesting just what the teams have made it. Wow, I had to think about that shit. So that's how it is now. That's how it is now. It's all, and it's in a way it's better that the betting is open. So there is the opportunity for those of you that live that lifestyle to try to take advantage of that. But for those of you, like think about how powerful what they did against Budweiser. Do you know they shut Budweiser down? Now, what's interesting is Bud Light and Budweiser is the most piss cheapest beer. It's almost like you are broke if you drink those type of beers. But yet bar after bar, they're the most popular beers. I don't understand. Like my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law, my ex-mother-in-law, that's what they drink. And it's the worst type of beer. It's like it's alcohol. Like when I drink this has flavor. You can look at it. When you open up a Budweiser, it's piss color, and there's no flavor to it. It's like corn. They put corn in it, and a little bit of barley, and the hops are like the weakest. And so it doesn't even really taste like beer. Like if you go 100 years back and take a Bud Light and give it to a person and ask them what it was, they wouldn't even know what it was because it doesn't taste like beer. It really doesn't. That's why everybody calls it piss beer. But my point is, do you know how easy it would be to stop any sports from being fixed? Because we feed it. We feed it. As a society, we feed the circus. Because we watch it on TV and we buy the tickets. We feed it. And so I don't know if there's... Well, thank you. The refs have a minor impact. Not saying the refs don't have any impact, but the refs' impact is minor compared to former years. Like we saw the other night when Curry got, was getting Curry had all the assists, but he got all them fouls. So we see how. Now, what was it when the next year they put in the review? You could challenge it like football because it was a block. Remember what was it with LeBron? It was clearly a charge that LeBron did, and they called it a block. And then that next year was review. But you remember that? So yes, through the years, referees can make critical calls, but remember their calls are. Now I broke down when dudes foul on purpose. Now, when dudes foul on purpose, that ain't the referee, right? When dudes jump in the air and jump at three-point shooters, that's fouling on purpose. All right, in the NBA, you want to copyright that, but that's a fact. You're trying to say I'm criticizing the NBA, and you're supposed to have free use to criticize and analyze. And so we have fouling on purpose. We have to look at that. We have to look at in the reviews because we've had replay where the replay clearly shows one thing and they come back and say it's another thing. Jimmy Jackson, and I almost did a video on this and I probably should have. Jimmy Jackson was like, hey, this play is a clear. Jimmy Jackson's like, this is a clear block. Then they come back and they made Jimmy Jackson eat his words. Remember that happened a day or two ago? And I didn't make a video about it because Jimmy was like, yeah, this is, and then they came back opposite. And see that when you say too much, because there was a lot of dead air. So Jimmy is they're trying to feed dead air. Because you got the producers like, keep talking. So you're trying to make up shit. And he was proved that it wasn't what he said. It just proved that it was opposite. So the ref's role it's not dominant. The refs don't dominate. Bad calls don't dominate. Remember, like let me tell you what I noticed how like even high school fixed sports. I noticed one ref, and I saw him ref into the championship game. So he's a highly ranked high school ref. But one thing I noticed about him, if he could make a bad call in a crucial part of the game, he would do it. He would do it. If it was a bad call to be made, he would go against what's going on. He would make the bad call because I saw that in him. And if the game just was regular, he would just make regular calls, which I thought was interesting. I was like, he wanted to be the villain to make the bad call. So if it was like the game was tight and he could make a bad call, he would do it. And then I see the same ref in the championship game. So let me catch up. I thought you meant reach finals, not NBA care, big market. What do you think about? Yeah. So, hey, Frog and Sue, what's happening? The West has 15 teams, 4 of them from Cali and 3 from Texas. 79 Supersonics are the last team. 79, but they're now OKC. But the last active team was 77 Portland Trail Blazers. Good work. Okay, thank you for coming in, Frog and Sue. I appreciate it. The game the Lakers won from the free throw line, 37 to work. Oh, what was it? But the last game, even though the Lakers lost, they had their free throws was more free throws, so that was interesting too. Who ended up winning? I guess I could look it up. Who ended up winning the U.S. Let me see. Who ended up winning? Because I know the USFL is getting games today. The fuck? Just fucking show me. Because I know the Michigan Panthers was playing. So we're getting down. I think this is the semifinals, ain't it? Houston Gamblers. They only played 4 games? No, they can't be. This like 4 games. This is so the Houston Gamblers beat the Philadelphia Stars, and the Memphis Showboats beat the Michigan Panthers. And then there's 1 o'clock. No, my time, 2 o'clock. New Orleans Breakers and the Generals. It's interesting looking at these names. What's the quarterback from the Bills? Jim Kelly played for the Houston Gamblers. My guy, one of my teammates played for the original Philadelphia Stars, and he fucked up his spleen. So at 23, like when you have heart surgery, they gotta bust your chest open. Do you understand? They gotta break your sternum here, and so you have what's called a zipper. And my friend played for USFL, and that's what happened to him. His sling got sliced and had to bust his chest open. I remember seeing that scar. Memphis Showboat, Reggie White. And the Michigan Panthers, Anthony Carter played with them, A Bear too. Oh, there's 2 games on tomorrow. So we're in the early season. I thought I saw it was their playoffs. Hockey playoffs. That's what the playoffs is, hockey playoffs. Hockey playoffs are now. Oh shit, I'm okay. Every day I'm lit, y'all. What is this? Should find that shit. What do you got? I see what I mean with that. But Suns, T-Wolves, and Nuggets are in big city markets, and that all have proportional teams, but never won NBA Finals. Well, that's not quite true, because the T-Wolves was the Lakers, and you always got to consider those Lakers here. 5 finals. They did win the NBA Finals. That's not true, Lorenzo. The Lakers, the Minneapolis Lakers, won 5 NBA titles. So not under the T-Wolves name, I will agree, but under the Minneapolis name. So don't forget that. George Mikan is a god. Lakers game, they lost free throws. We're even, Warriors 15-6. Okay, Mac Pat. Thank you. No, I'm just talking shit, Lorenzo.
And the fans, they're there for entertainment.
Why are they there, Barkley?
And the fans, they're there for entertainment.
That's it. It's entertainment. That's it. We all watch it for entertainment. It was interesting. Anybody catch it was funny, Snoop Dogg's involvement in the wrestling. I caught a little bit of one of the WrestleManias where McManus' son was supposed to wrestle the Yaz or whatever that dude who has the wife with his show. But the dude went in the ring and stepped funny and tore his knee up. And they really didn't know what to do. And that's when Snoop Dogg came out of the audience and kind of ad-libbed and saved the day. So that's interesting. And that's thinking on the fly to keep a business. Right now, Who are they trying to buy? It's another team for sale. The Snoop Dogg is trying to have an interest in a team. So that's good, you know, if people can have a little bit. I mean, there's a couple hockey teams up for sale. So doesn't change the fact of the nature of the game, but still it's good to see that it's not just that you know, the good old boy situation with owners may be finally changing. But isn't it interesting when they want to get rid of these billionaires, they do a media campaign against them that gets rid of them. Isn't that interesting? When they want to get rid of them, they get rid of them. They make these billionaires. Like me, first, the billionaire up in D.C., they made him get rid of the Redskins. You know, then they come up with all these bogus claims and they put pressure on these billionaires and get rid of them. Like Donald Sterling is the one that's most not believable. They allowed that man to put damn near 30 years of bad teams and they didn't care. There wasn't trust the process. It was like that was where careers died. And look at all the good players: Danny Manning, Darius Miles. I mean, it's just you know, all these young good players who went out there just to lose, and they said nothing. The league didn't care. You can say the Clippers did the same thing that the 76ers was doing, and that's what the lottery was supposed to get rid of. When Stern took over, he put in the lottery because teams was losing on purpose to try to get better players. Because the way they was stacking the league, and then when the slavery free agency, you know, before free agencies could just bob, it was slavery in a way. It was paid slavery. Even now, look at the NFL. A rookie contract is life. Look at the NFL, the NFL careers, 3.5 years. A rookie is bound to a team the first 5 years, with the last 2 being different options. I mean, you can cheer for Lamar Jackson all you want, but that contract is not kicked in this year. Now, the bonus he got from signing that contract kicks in, but that contract itself is not this season. So, do you understand how the NFL? I mean, it's a tough life, and you got to get your bread when you can get it. But you see what my Eagles are doing. SEC Eagles getting them hogs and putting them mugs on the D-line. And I think the NFL likes that. Because it shows a little bit of strategy of trying to put a great defense when you got this young quarterback. And to me, that's a great scenario that sells. I think that sells. So I like what publicly they're doing. Hey, I want to ask y'all other places. Do you guys got these rooms where you can just go smash it? Now, I want to give you an example. As I said, old Vet Stadium in Philadelphia, people would fight and they could take you in jail. You would go see the hockey game. I think it was the Summit. Yeah, the Summit where Dr. J originally ended up playing. And they would fight in there. And when the Flyers got their new stadium, they built a place in there where, if you know your frustrations or your team losing or whatever, you could just go in a room and break shit. Do you guys got places like that where you know, just places you could just go break shit? It's a place here where you could just go break shit. So, you know, if it's a hammer, you know, if you want to smash a pumpkin, or you want to smash a bowling ball, or you just want to jackhammer some stuff, come see me if you want to jackhammer some stuff. I don't charge much for my jackhammer, but you can jackhammer your ass off. But anyway, you guys got those kind of places? It was the Biz. Snoop co-hosted WrestleMania with him, but they still went on fly by having Snoop Dogg action. There you go. Yeah, he's trying to get the Ottawa Senators. Okay. Yeah, they trying to get the Senators. Okay. I know I was seeing they was trying to, one of the hockey teams, there was some bread up there they could get. Yeah, they looking like all, they getting them guys. And that's where the NFL You know, they look at the Big Ten, SEC as the leagues closest to what NFL competition is going to be, and the guys who are used to fixing the games, because that's a big part too. You ain't got to teach them, and that's why I think they keep guys like Chris Paul, who obviously see it's one thing when you 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", and your skills erode in the NBA, you still 6'8", 6'9", 6'10". When you Chris Paul and you what? Chris Paul what? 5'10", 5'11". Chris Paul ain't as tall as me. He's shorter than me. And your skills erode? I mean, how do you keep a cat like that around? Like, how do they protect him? He can't guard anybody. It's obvious when Chris Paul gets open shots, they just leave him open. So it's good to see when he goes out of games acting like he's hurt. It's good because but it shows you they keep guys like him around because he's good at scripting. And that's why they keep all these old quarterbacks, these old has-been quarterbacks around, because they don't mind throwing 5 or 6 interceptions one game. What does it hurt? They ain't gonna never make the Hall of Fame anyway. Remember that year after Tony Romo got hurt, they brought all them bums in Dallas? Really? In the NFL, you telling me there wasn't one guy that can be consistent and good? Everybody you brought in had to throw interceptions. Do you remember that when Tony Romo first got hurt? They was trying to bring all these quarterbacks in Dallas and saying nobody in the world can play good quarterback. That's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that really no. Remember Any Given Sunday, Jamie Foxx quarterback came in, was ready to roll, played decent. And again, I know it's a movie, but the movie and the script can be the same. It was scripted for whoever they brought in was going to be failed. One of my biggest videos, football ever, was 64,000 views on when Andy Dalton got hurt. And nobody helped him up. None of his teammates helped him up. That was one of my biggest videos. And it's like, really, he gets hurt and none of the linemen or no one comes to help him up to see if he's okay. So that's what do you think about? They didn't like that dude anyway. That's what that shows you. They didn't like him. I mean, there are a lot of good football players. Like, I would argue with anybody. I'll go film to film with anybody. If it's anybody out there wants to go film to film with me, and we can go through Kaepernick, and I can show you why Kaepernick wasn't a good quarterback. And if you wanted to compare two dudes' career, look at Kaepernick and RG3. Look at them both. RG3 was the much better of the two. Right? Rookie of the year, Heisman Trophy. Kaepernick had basically one good season. Harbaugh, Alex Smith gets hurt, they bring in Kaepernick. They run the same. Now this is shows you how they do it. They run the same offense as RG3 is running in Washington. Read option, veer. Veer, read option is really the veer. That's really what it's called, the veer. It's not read option, it's the straight veer offense. That's what RG3 thrived off before they hurt him, and that's the one good season of Kaepernick. But when Kaepernick had to drop back, and again, this is what you have to look at. In wrestling, you have to be able to take the falls. So even in football, if sometimes dudes just can't make the plays. They just can't make the plays. Imagine when it's, think about it like this. If they don't like you and you ain't that good a receiver and you got on grip gloves and you ain't really, you seeing where the grip gloves is helping you, but it's a crucial play in the game where you don't really look it in and you rely on the grip gloves and that shit go through your hands. As I said, you still a wrestler. In wrestling, you still got to be able to take the falls. And that's how players can be tricked as well. You see a lot of players catching in their shoulder pads. I remember I was I met Gary Clark when he was playing with DC, and he was like, he didn't catch it in his hands. And his reason, he said he wanted to see what was going on around him, and he always caught the ball in his body. I was like, you can't catch. Like, you really can't catch. That's what I told him. I'm like, dude, you can't catch. I watched your technique. I watched you on film. You really can't catch. If you got to always rely on in your body, you can't really catch. You catch with your hands. It's a saying, you catch it with your eyes. Now you catch it with the magnets in your hand. Did y'all see the video? Maybe none of y'all caught this. Somebody sent me a video of all the draft picks coming. And it was nothing but, somebody sent me a video, nothing but grip gloves catches by all these people that's about to get drafted. And maybe I should have kept it. I got to find where I got that. But it's still so interesting watching it. Somebody sent that to me. And it's like, all these dudes has got the grip gloves. I mean, it's serious grip gloves. These dudes, one dude, like, he's on a yellow school bus going to his local elementary back in the day, and somebody threw the ball through the school bus from the football field at his high school field, and he still caught it in the school bus with the grip glove. I mean, this is how ridiculous the stuff was. But it was like everybody had these grip gloves on. And it's like, wow. You're making these videos and you're trying to give hype to yourself. Sound, no? I find stuff like that amusing. That's how I amuse myself. I amuse myself like that. Damn. Oh. One of your biggest videos was Elway F-step drop into the end zone for a safety. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Elway. My best video was Zach made my best video. And I only say that because he shared it and it got 100,000 views with the Zach sharing it. But yeah, the Elway video, it just makes no sense. I mean, you clearly see why he was given 2 Super Bowls, because Elway lost 3. Remember, Elway lost 3 Super Bowls. Remember when Doug Williams threw what, 4 or 5 touchdowns and didn't start the next year? Remember, they got him, you can look this up, they got him crying on ESPN because Jay Schroeder, Gibbs of Gibbs Racing, Joe Gibbs, one of his grandson's races or some shit. But Gibbs of Gibbs Racing that won Super Bowls as a coach. Yeah, won a Super Bowl with Doug Williams, but didn't believe in him. And Doug Williams was on ESPN crying because he wasn't starting. They started Jay Schroeder, who ended up going to the Raiders and just was like, Jay Schroeder was like Tony Romo, Phil Simms. Like, it's interesting how they pick these nobodies. Like, what was Phil Simms' backup? Jeff Halstetter. They picked these nobodies. Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay. Tony had the quarterback the year before, brother, that couldn't pass. Remember that? Lorenzo, you might remember that. When my cousin Tony was coaching Tampa Bay and they went what? They was 10-0 at one point. They only lost 2 or 3 games, but they lost in the playoffs early. And they had that brother, Sean King. They had Sean King as quarterback. Remember that? Tony had Sean King. Sean King couldn't throw the ball. He couldn't run option, and he couldn't really throw the ball. So the next year, when they fire Tony and they bring what's his name, John Gruden in, and John Gruden has Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson was a backup in college. Like if you look at some of these dudes didn't even play in college. Like Tom Brady. Look up Tom Brady. Tom Brady never started. No, I'll take this back. Tom Brady would start and Drew Henson would play the whole second half. Tom Brady was a mediocre quarterback in Michigan. And if you don't believe me, go back and look at the film. A quarterback like Tom Brady should have never even got a chance to play at all. There were so many other brothers in that draft that played quarterback that should have got an opportunity that played. So you can't say that they didn't invent Tom Brady, because Tom Brady didn't make his way on talent. The film breaks him down. Again, if the tuck rule, if Tom Brady loses the tuck rule, and he even says it himself, if the tuck rule was really enforced as a fumble, the Raiders run the clock out and win, Tom Brady might not even make the team the next year. Do you see that was at stake? If the tuck rule was allowed to be a fumble, Tom Brady is gone. They even say it. Watch that thing with him and Wolfork. Or whatever his name is, that number 2 that tackled him. Watch that 60 for 60 or 30 for 30. They tell you if Tom Brady fumbles in that situation, his career is gone. So they save that too by making a rule that it was the only time it was enforced. Was that one time. So that shows you, if you don't think football was fixed, the tuck rule proves it is. Do you understand? If you do not think football was fixed, the tuck rule proves that it was fixed. It was one of the few times they fixed the game as the game was going. They actually fixed the game. They thought review and everything. That was one of the biggest fixes of any sports event in the history of sports, was the tuck rule. That was the biggest rules violation of changing their own rules to change the outcome of a game. And that's all you got to watch that game. And that game right there tells you that football was corrupt. And there's no way NFL, you would think the NFL could survive that, because everything after that was fixed. I mean, not everything after that, but that just proves it's fixed. Then they fixed it right in front of your face. They mocked you and fixed it. They said, we don't care that you see that it's fixed. We're going to do it anyway. And that's what the tuck rule is. So, Charles Woodson, yeah. Tom Brady in college was the Orange Bowl in 2000 against Alabama. Yeah, I remember Sean King out of Tulane. Yeah. The only team I remember Tom. Yeah, I'm telling you, Drew Henson. When they brought in Drew Henson, remember Greasy? You remember Bob Greasy's son? That Greasy was starting without Tom Brady. Tom Brady had Greasy came in there and Drew Henson, but Greasy was there when Tom Brady was there, and Tom Brady didn't beat out Greasy. He didn't play till Greasy left. And look at the year he was there with Drew Henson. Tom Brady started, Drew Henson finished. And that's so look at Drew Henson's career. He was a better quarterback, but look at his career. So you don't think so look at it like this. If Tom Brady if Greasy's son, who's now an announcer, you don't think if he would have got the momentum that Tom Brady had, he couldn't have had the career? Drew Henson. You don't think Drew Henson, if the league would have got behind him? Now, this is what, like, you can't even compare Michael Jordan to Tom Brady, because you can clearly see where Tom Brady was helped in so many games. The way they fixed it for Michael Jordan's talent won some of them games. And you can't say that, you can't look at any game of Tom Brady and say that Tom Brady's talent alone. I mean, you can look at Michael Jordan in his game and say, damn, Michael Jordan's talent won the game. You can't look at Tom Brady and say, well, Tom Brady's talent won the game. Because you could just see the will of Michael Jordan. You could never see the will of Tom Brady ever since the tuck rule. And see, that's what happens is, and that's how we have to analyze them. If your first play to make you play, they had to hurt somebody else, and then when your biggest chance, you fumbled it away. You didn't read the proper defense. and they have to save you to make your career, then we know the rest of your career was fake. So we don't want to hear how accurate you are, how quick your release is. Everything else is fake. Because in that one moment, they had to save you for you to even have a career. Because if you fumble, you're disappeared. You the Minority Report. You know, that's what a Minority Report is. A Minority Report, again, remember, it was three different thoughts. And if one had a different thought than the other two, it went into a Minority Report. So there's a Minority Report out there where Tom Brady was showed what he really was. And that's probably the real reality. That this talented guy never made it beyond. That's the Minority Report. Where Tom Brady was the bum that he was. Because all they did is try to equal Michael Jordan. They tried to put Tom Brady in their face to equal Michael Jordan. They put Michael Jordan in your face to try to equal Kobe and Magic. And let's say, you know, they've got their equal to Bill Russell and Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra won 10 titles, World Series. So don't try to say there's no one equal to Bill Russell. That's not quite true. Yogi Berra is equal to Bill Russell. He won 10 World Series. So don't try to say, you know, yeah, okay, Bill Russell won 11 titles in 13 years, but Yogi Berra won 10 World Series. So that's damn near equal. Do y'all like Antonio Brown signing with the Ravens? You know what? It could work. He could still get free. I don't know. I don't see him making the team. I say he get cut. I say maybe he signs. I say he don't make the team. Could he be valuable? Yeah, he could still get separation. Yeah, him and Odell. Odell doesn't play slot. Antonio plays slot. I mean, he can play X too, but Odell is mostly an X. He want to be outside. Antonio can play slot. So, yeah, I kind of like it. And then the guy they drafted, he's a slot guy too. But he can still get let's see. Yeah, they highlight their marriage isn't enough for me. I thought they was going to take his mom out at one point. Ooh. Let's see, what did I miss here? Or if Tom have to give up because of his record. Well, I say his daddy probably be the first to give up. Is his daddy, Tom Brady's daddy, is the first gonna go. It's enough for me. I thought they was going to take his mom out. Ooh. Yep, the highlight it abstractly, some ritual. There you go. They Greasy's son won MVP in the 98 Rose Bowl. Yeah, my sister went to that one. I remember because he broadcast the game with Keith Jackson. Yes, exactly. That was what's funny is my sister went to my sister was working for, she's already graduated from law school. Her man, who she was gonna marry at the time, was working for Universal. And he got my sister graduated from the University of Michigan. She got her law degree at Georgetown. But her man bought her tickets to Michigan versus whoever they won Greasy won. Yeah. So my sister was at that game. So that's how I remember that game, because my sister was there. She ended up not marrying the dude. And what's funny is my sister doesn't marry the guy, but my brother marries his sister. So my sister was engaged to a guy and had a sister. My sister doesn't marry the guy. My youngest brother marries his sister. So the families are still kind of together. And then my sister marries another woman that's also a lawyer. So make sense. I feel like no comprendo what's happening. Tom's goal is always to get more titles than Jordan. He wants to be the greatest sports player ever. I agree, Valerie. I feel like the Ravens are going to be a big bait this year. OBJ be a year deal. They probably go far and fall short. Yeah. But keep in mind, they've won 2 Super Bowls, so we can't put that out that he won't ever win a Super Bowl because they've won it before. You mixing up with old Beckham, Antonio, co-owner of some team called Albany. Oh, okay, so he's not. So it's just the Beckham. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Albany, and they did a thing where they was trying to put him off the field. Gazelle wins that one hands down. Tom also has suspect activity with his son. See what I'm saying? Nah, his son, that's news. Yeah, I know what you're saying with his son. They showed him kissing on his son and stuff. So, okay, okay. Yeah, I know Beckham was there. I knew Beckham signed. I didn't know about Antonio Brown. But as I said, one video that I hate they took away was I did the video where when they destroyed OBJ's ankle in preseason, that was a hit. That was a hit because no one goes low on you in preseason. The dude destroyed OBJ's ankle in preseason, and that was a message sent to him. And like I say, the first dude they went, you can see they hurt on purpose was Gale Sayers, Kermit Washington, and I should do a video on Kermit Washington because you see why he hurt Gale Sayers because he had a messed up life. You study Kermit Washington. So you see why he agreed to hurt Gale Sayers. He had a messed up life. So, and that's what happened to him. And after they broke his ankle the way it was broke, he was never the same player. He was never the same player after that. I know Odell. I know about the Odell sign there somewhere, but they were bringing in Brown. Okay, I hadn't heard if AB was signed to them. That would have been news. Yeah, I hadn't heard that. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about it. I knew about Odell. I hadn't heard about Brown. The last thing I heard about Brown was they took him off of. They was taking him off of arena team field. They say he couldn't stand on the field. So if you a co-owner, you could stand on the field. Well, you could stand on the sideline because remember in arena ball they're like right on the sideline. So yeah. So well, I think I'm gonna go to sleep. I've had a long day. I think I'm gonna go to sleep. But I think we need a little good rhythms. I'm oh, but some good that's what me and this nigga do. We pick something and then we ran about it. That's right.
I think we OD. I think we OD.
And that's what
I think we OD.
I know he probably tried to hit me for copyright, but it's still smooth.
I think we OD.
He's talking about ODing with love. You dig what I'm saying? He's talking about ODing with love. With love, what did she say? Now that love's taking over me. Now that love's taking over you, what can I do? That's what he's saying. He's like,
I think we OD.
And that's what he's saying. We've OD with love. And that's what you should really do. That's really how we should all be, is we should OD with love. And even if it's the moment with your significant other or your lady, your man, whatever it is, that's what it should be. And I'm not raining on anybody's game or anybody's time, but this is the thing. How many like think of it like this. I'll say like this. I only knew one old dude that had younger women that the younger women took care of him. And that was my great uncle. But other than that, in some cases, you've got to have relationships where you are helping each other to the end. And that's what young people seem to forget when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and you're not learning that lesson. It's like you're going to be old one day. And your children want to be doing their own thing. Your children don't want to necessarily be tied up with you. They want you in the best position, but they want you to put yourself in the best position. And so that's what we are not taught. That's what the pimp mentality doesn't teach you. Is one day you get old and you want people you can trust around you when you get old, because that helps your old life be better. And the better you treat people, the better people treat you. And I'm going to hold that story in. And so I just tell all you young people out there, if you married or you in a serious relationship, remember that. Because family is the number one building block for the civilization. It's the number one building block for really financial freedom. It's two people is way easier to build and save. And a family gives you that base block. So, I mean, if you really think, if you really are so immature where, a big butt and a smile sways you, how long that last? How long that last? Love is supreme. Love has to be respected. And so it's, and that's where young men play the fool. That's really where young men play the fool. Because people don't understand the role of the fool. The role of the fool is to experience everything. But remember how close it is with the fool turns into the warrior king. It's only a couple moves. And so that's all I'm saying is, are you going to stay the fool, or are you going to do your natural progression to be the warrior king? Because that's where the fool it should lead you to. Yes, the fool wants to try everything. But at some point, the fool has to become the warrior king. And I'm only saying you only got a couple moves to become that. So, what do you want to be? Do you want to be the fool, or do you want to take your proper place as the warrior king? And that's not what society tells us. Society tells us to be a pimp. That's what society tells us.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get
it. So you can get it if you want to get it. Well, y'all, I'm go. And I think let's see. See if we can bring that back in. Will that come back in? Let's see. I can finish with that. Oh. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And it's still cold up here. I told you, I'm wearing that baseball jacket. It is cold up here. What is the temperature up here? Man, my heat came on last night. We had six months of snow, y'all. I love living here, but snow is, come on, it's just enough with the snow. It is 57 degrees. I got both windows open. I got a fan. Oh, it's going to be nice today. Oh, rain again. Rained all day today. Like rained hard. Oh, it might be nice tomorrow. Ah, it's going to be nice. Ooh, I might get some pickleball in. It's going to be 74. It's going to be nice, y'all. Let's see here. Yo. Let's see. Is this it? Give a little this funk up. Oh. I don't know what she gonna say, so no. Let's keep going to find a little more. Right here. Oh, all right. Here, my man. He might be singing and shit. Let me see if I can get him singing. Okay, here he is. Let me get my man in here. He been saying he wanted to get some. Okay, here you go. Okay, here we go. Here's my main man from Japan. Let's hear it.
Wills, he does with body game, and Alan Roger Curry does with charisma, which is about the mouthpiece. And cousin T-Tall, the Alpha Wingman, aka Scorpio the Entertainer, he deals with the masculinity or masculine mastery. And I'm gonna show you this book that I got from cousin T-Tall. This is the book called The Seduction Scriptures, and this is him on the back.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've been reading this book, but see the thing about cousin T-Tall, he came up with this video with Ron Wills called the Simplex, and and this guy is not only an exotic entertainment dancer, he's also a choreographer. But guess what?
What's
He
that?
he has a background in neuropsychology.
Oh.
So these guys, Ron Wills and cousin T-Tall, they're deeper than just dealing with women. They deal with some serious metaphysical stuff. I even had a common conversation with Ron Wills.
Mm-hmm.
He's read some of the same books I've read. He's read the Tao Te King. He's read the Tao of Sexology. He's even read some books on Tantra.
Okay.
And I subscribe to his mentor, Master Yao Morris. And he talks about how the different ways that you can control your sexual energy. So when I was up there having to talk about what I learned from DJ Kuda, Sir Ism, and Platinum Elite, they said that my game was like too complex for them, that I need to make it simple and slow it down a bit. So I just told them this: the vibration of your flow is determined by the quality of your glow. And then said something else like this: Macking is a process, not a recess. and then it came from another angle. When your game is long and strong, it's never wrong. And then it came from another angle. When your game is authentic, smooth, and strong, it never goes wrong. So back in the day, I was pretty good as a poet, writing words and stuff, putting words together.
Okay.
Because one of my aptitudes, see, my 3 highest aptitudes is mathematics. Second one is English and communication, and third is music.
It's definitely giving running through the fields. Oh my gosh. The reason why I love shopping with Google is because you can use the filters and it will only show you the things in your budget. This dress, still flowy, I'm telling you. A black dress is all you need.
Prevent premature aging. New Harvest Fresh refrigerators from Beko. Innovative 3-color light technology simulates the sun cycle, keeping produce fresh up to 30 days, preserving vitamins longer. You won't believe your chives.
So I know how to put words together where it sounds smooth and everything, but Sir Ism be trying to rhyme, and so he always say goddamn and everything. But the reason why I was given the name, see, my name is Macbone/Macbones. And Macbone means a Mac who has balls and backbone. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry, because Alan Roger Curry said in order to be Mode 1, you gotta have balls and backbone. So I applied the counsel of Ron Wills and Alan Roger Curry and cousin Tito in the field, and I got some excellent results. I didn't get slapped upside the head. I didn't get thrown to drink the water. Like I approached this lady Vicky at the gym today. She was up there doing her lunges with a curl bar. That lady fit up down the street from my sister's house. I'm in Duncanville, Texas right now at my sister's place, and I'm trying to get stuff together because certain extenuating circumstances happened in Arkansas where I had to leave with the quickness.
Okay.
But that'll be another story for later.
All right.
But like, you know, I went up to this lady. I said, my name is Bailey. Ed Bailey, what's yours? I said, well, my name is Vicky. Well, I said, well, I had to tell you this. When I saw you do your exercises, I looked at you and the light called damn went off in my head. So I just want to tell you that the reason why I approached it is because I wanted to get together with you and have some casual fun sooner or later. What say you? And Vicky said, well, Ed, I'm flattered, but I'm married. I said, hey, it's all good. Thanks for telling me. That's mode one right there. Upfront, straightforward, and direct.
Right.
I've done this many times, and I got some good results. I mean, sometimes I just go ahead and get the sex rather than I say it. You know, so it works for me, man. You know, because by doing that mode one, it helps weed out the women that are gonna waste their time. Their blade of time.
Oh, what? Let's hear that again.
For later.
All right.
But like, you know, I went up to this lady, and I just broke it down to him like this. I said, okay, the daughter, the mom, and the man are probably based on his real life sexual escapades. Because of the thing, I said, okay, that seduction story happened in the '80s, and now they're having the skin flick stories about that. And he's also BDSM expertise, where he's the bull, because you got the bull, the wife, and the cuckold. So he was the bull. And then in a lot of Caucasian circles, they want the alpha masculine black man to be the bull. But see, the thing about that goes back to slavery, to where and want to be entertained, but one of the men did go fight a bucks. And then Mr. Charlie said, well, if you want to fuck one of those nigga bucks, you got to let me watch. That's where it comes from. And that movie Mandingo,
they called it.
Yeah, that movie Mandingo talks about it. They would have one of these Mandingo fighter bucks.
Mandingo drum.
Yeah, that sort of thing. They would have one of these Mandingo drums, you know, fuck some of the high established, you know, white ladies on one condition, then men be allowed to watch. So a lot of this stuff ain't new. It has a certain historical archetype to it. And I remember there was one lady named Sheila Eaters trying to blast me on the panel and everything, right? Well, I was telling her my experiences with women and everything, saying that it's not true. I said, well, and I saw like take a page from Ron Will's book. How do you know you weren't there? How do you know it's true now? You weren't there. And I decided to go ahead and jump off the panel because Max focuses on power. If there's no power in a certain place, the Mac ain't gonna be there. So I went ahead and just left them alone. So you know the thing is, I'm relating to those Maxim players on the panel at Sir Ism's channel just by talking, having a convo on game with them and everything. Because I don't drink or nothing like that. You know, I'm eating like tuna. I mean like tuna, strawberries, and
My bitches. You saying you can't control your bitches? What?
grapes right now as we speak because I got to work out tomorrow. I just got my new Olympic weight collars in and my exercise wheel in. And check this out. I sparred with an 18-year-old boxer yesterday. We went through the paces, and he hit me hard, but I hit him harder in the arm and near his chin. And the 18-year-old was surprised I was 51 years old. He said, sir, you really are 51? Yeah, I'm 51. And I can hit too. Because he thought he got me real bad when he connected to my left jaw, right? And I did like this. And I said, oh, hey, man, I'm all right. And I scared the shit out of him by doing that. He thought it really hurt me. I said, no, I'm fine. Because the first person that taught me boxing was Joe Islam, who is a former member of the NOI and the FOI. And then years later, I was taught boxing by this guy named Coach Norman Baker, who's been training boxers champion Golden Gloves to professional boxers since 1977. And the thing is, the guy that owns the Straight Right Boxing Fitness Gym, former champion Keith Anderson, was trained by Coach Norman Baker himself. So Coach Norman Baker is a household name in Arkansas. Everywhere he goes, he's allowed to freely train people anywhere in any boxing gym. And see, the thing about boxing.
Oh no! Oh no! All right, they got me for my own commercial. All right. Eric Bailey is good though. Eric Bailey has a lot of experiences of a different thing. And him and I are gonna try to do something else. So I wanted to give y'all a little taste because he does have a little flavor to himself. And yeah, I like Edward. So I just wanted to give you a little flavor. He's been hitting me up, so I wanted to give y'all a little flavor. We're gonna do something together coming up. And yeah, just wanted to give you a little bit of his flavor. And I relate to everybody. I relate to everybody. And if anybody wants a voice, you can always, anyway, I'm easy to get in touch with. Eagle are the bomb. That's been my Gmail for the last 12, 14, 15 years at Gmail. I'm easy to get to. You can leave a comment at this. If you got something to say and you really want to chop it, it's easy to get to me. I'm not anybody that's hiding. My real name is Brian. It's not like I'm hiding my real name. My real name is Brian. I'm Brian Sr., matter of fact. But I have 1,000 nicknames. That's one thing. I can go to 1,000,000 different cities and people will call me 1,000,000 different names because I got 1,000,000 nicknames. So it's like I'm not hiding from anybody. I just use the energy that moves me, and Big Pontiac moves me because Pontiac and Tecumseh is two people I can really say in history that I've walked the same alleys as they walked. So, I walked in the footprints of greatness, of rebellion. People that really tried to rebel and had a legitimate claim for rebellion. And so rebellion is quite different now. We don't have to have violence to rebel. We just have to have strong minds. That's all it is the rebellion is mentally. The physical rebellion is over. Because you can never beat this beast, because this beast and this beast and this my, that's all they want to do is fight. That's what it is. It just wants to fight. And so when you realize that you don't have to fight to move on, that's when you win. You can live forever by wanting to fight or be fake or sell your energy. Because that's what it is. You sell your energy. There's a machine like a vacuum cleaner. And it's sad the way the machine is done. Because again, people don't really realize eternity is a different type of time. They try to tell you eternity ain't a time. But there's a thing that is and then there ain't. Because one part of eternity is you can create a fucking castle. And it seemed like that castle been there forever. Remember Narda. And then one day somebody eats your fucking castle. And that's what they don't tell you. There's something that can eat your castle. And then you're going to latch on to anything and everything. Until you end up selling your energy to a vacuum cleaner. Because you was led down the wrong way. You didn't learn. You didn't pay attention. You didn't meditate. You didn't separate attachments to what you really feel. You went into the light. and I don't care what Bomber says. Do not go into that light. Yes, Bomber. No, you don't want that light. You can create your own light. You ain't got to go in no light, something that tries to direct you to. The other day, I'm meditating and the diamond crystal energy hit me. So do I need that, Bomber? I know that's good light because I got that around me. I ain't fake by that. But you telling people, well, people's out there saying don't go. That's right. Run away from that white light, the blinding light. That is not good for you. Even meditation, don't go to that. The blinding light is Marduk, is the my. It's the fool you type of light. The boob whisper. Go into the light. No, you don't go into the light. You don't go into anything until you learn how to light it up yourself. The initiation, the initiate takes the dark and creates his own light. That's what the initiate does. The initiate wants to be in dark. And then he creates his own light from the dark. That's what the initiate does. He doesn't ask for a cheat. He's like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to light this shit up. And it comes to you naturally. As I said before, when you get into it, the light turns on right here. And the steps is pretty easy. The light turns on right here. As I said, the flash of diamond light hit me over here today. But this light turns on, that light turns on, and then you've got this leading you. And then this can come outside for some of y'all. So it's always a beacon. Some of y'all need that. I don't need it as a beacon anymore. Because it's never just dark to me. I've been this light up. And that's what I want for all of y'all, to learn that. Don't go into false light. Go into the light that's meant for you. You use your own light, not anyone else's light. Don't be fooled by the false light, by the easy light. Because that's the thing and that's the biggest thing on meditation and not leaving your body. If the first time you leave your body is when you die, what do you think is going to happen to you? I mean, even if and this is my karma, people. This is where karma is bullshit. Because you can live the greatest life, and then when you die, if you have not studied, you can, again, be easily tricked into going to reincarnation or worse. Or worse. You give up your signature, again, if you signed it away. But just the average person, they just want to keep recycling you over and over again. Keep putting you in different lifetimes with no control, no memory of what you was in the past. That's a slave. And then they say the people remember these past lives. What does that get into you? What is the child that can remember all these past lives and needs a child? What does that do? Doesn't do anything. You're still locked. Because you didn't learn to separate. You didn't learn to move on, create your own light. Because, people don't understand. When you die, there is something that will come there and try to lead you one way or another. That's just what happens. And I'll say this is what they don't prepare you for. The shit's quick. Death is quick. That shit's quick. That shit, even the TV, that when it hits quicker than a motherfucker. And so, like, I'll say this, I study a lot about the Tibetan Book of the Dead, but it takes a lot of practice to shut down all these worlds quick as that death shit come. Because I'm pretty sure I've died 2 or 3 times. I'm pretty sure. A year or 2 ago, I definitely died. I saw that. I saw death. I saw it. I mean, the way it hit me, I don't know what happened to me, but I was just laying on my couch and I went into that shit. And and I don't know if it was a reminder of, it was like really reminders like, okay, you really think you have time to, and this is where I'll say, it's like, it was a quick reminder to say, do you think you have time to really shut everything down inside? And I didn't. So that shit where they talking about the Tibetan Book of the Dead, where you shut everything down so you can push out here, Yeah, I didn't have that much time. That shit came like, woo. That death shit came. It was like, whoa. It's like, yeah, there's not time for all that stuff. So it's already got to be there. You've already got to have that going for you. You already got to have the right guides. So when the false guides come, because again, the ancestors do help. And it's like, it's not that you have to live the right life. You just have to be right with life. It's not good or bad, but it's just being the right kind of being. It's about understanding consciousness. And I mean true consciousness from the beginning of what consciousness really is. Because I'll say that's the one thing that, like, when that death comes, that's one thing you got to have a clear understanding agreement with is consciousness, because it wants to rip that shit apart really quick, because it wants to erase that memory. And if we don't practice enough and we don't have our bag, because that helps you to have that bag when that death shit comes, and you got a couple things that can just say, hey, death parachute. Death, hey, everything we got to shut down so we can shoot out the top where we supposed to shoot out. Because there's different levels. There's different levels. I mean, it's documented. If you come out your mouth, you come out your nose, your ears, you come out your ass, you come out your vagina, you come out the penis. It shows you there's reality. Dante's Inferno tells you that. There's levels of this consciousness. When consciousness ends, and you don't get to really move through the real true where the real sun is, not this fake sun and this fake moon, because the real reality is blue. I'll argue that with anybody. Now, my home is gold. I already know that. That's where when I die, I'm going into the gold. But there's a part of reality that is there that is blue, and there's another sun that's behind this thing that we see. Because I break through to that too often to say that that's just a coincidence. I break through to that too often. And I know others see that as well. And that's the sad thing. It's like this is a layer on top of a layer. It's a layer on top of this. It's like we have so much fake that it's real on top of this fake. And I know others that broke through. Excuse me. Sorry. Sorry. So I know others that broke through and see this shit too, because they talk about it. And no, I'm not gonna talk shit tonight, because when I see somebody use what I said and that's their headline for their subject, I just kind of laugh. But it's not. It's okay. It's okay. I know where my supreme is. And I see why my stuff is worth duplicating. And I thank you for duplicating it. That's all right. I ain't mad about none of that. Don't none of that matter. So, let me bring it so I can see it. And then I'm gonna bug off. All right, what is it? I'm sorry. Never going to the fake light. Matrix Soul Trap. Speak on it. Sun was hitting the top shining. My sister, the same thing. She drowned too. Mine's was a river. He was at the ocean. Different years, but was like 7 or 6 years old. Same thing. Man jumped and saved her. Once my mom went to thank him, he was gone. It's funny. My mom talked about an experience she had. Like I've said, the first time I probably got killed was I ran in front of a car. As I said, I'm a time lord. And so when I go look at that incident, this is one thing you have to understand. The breaks in 1969, probably was the summer of 1970. The breaks were drum breaks. They locked up. The fuck was that? They locked up. And I was racing a guy, and one of like the street off my neighborhood was wasn't a highway, but it was like it wasn't a lot of lights, if you understand. And I drove in front of two cars, and I froze an event, and they both stopped on a line. I'm positive of that. It's like these two cars that should have both hit me stopped on a line. So something stopped them. Then I got knocked down by a tree, and the tree like put a big mark, but I cut down a tree. I cut down a couple, well, let me back up. I cut down a tree. And a lot of times when you're cutting down a bunch of trees, you'll cut down a tree because to cut down another tree. So I forgot I cut down that tree, and y'all forget how big trees are. And that tree probably killed me. Pretty sure the tree killed me. So it's a couple of times. And then I was in a car accident where I got this scar on my head. I probably got killed there too. So for some reason, they let some of us, or they want some of us to keep living. So say I was in a nursing home the other night, and it's like, I'll say this. I'll say this. When I was in the nursing home or rest home or senior, whatever you want to call it, I saw a lot of demons. I'm going to say that. It was some of them old ass demons that was living up in there. I did see that, and I'm not going to lie. I saw demons living amongst these old people and these people recovering. Non-humans, of course, that, again, need the help because they get old and worn out too. But I saw the number of people like trapped. That, and I've talked about that many weeks where old people look trapped. Again, the other night I talked about they showed this guy in Taiwan, 130 years old, still smoking opium. He seemed trapped. He literally seemed trapped. And I think so many ways, because I've seen myself being extremely old. Like I'm 60, but I've seen myself like be 100 and some years old. And it's like almost when you're that old, you're almost trapped. Because everything, you smell different, everything doesn't work as well. And it's almost kind of like you're trapped. Because they make it look like you want to keep living. Because again, for so many beings that have made deals to get monetary whatever, they have to sell their soul. And see, this is the thing on normal people that sell their soul to get rich, they trap them here. That's the way they get tortured. They age old. And what you understand, see, there's different care on the bread you got. You go into senior living when you got a lot of bread. Look at the Bernie Mac movie with Samuel Jackson. I think it's Soul Man. How if you got a lot of money, you can live in a certain senior living. But if you don't, and that ain't gonna change. Because this is the problem in society right now. My generation and the generation before me, this is the most people. The baby boomers is the most people. And they're aging. Obama being president was my age. Biden being president and Trump is older folks. But yet me and Trump and Biden are just, well, Biden might be a little older. Might be the great generation, whatever the fuck it was called. And so that's the lock a lot of these wealthy people get. They be forced to stay here. There's nothing wrong with dying. It's natural. Now, I'm not saying anybody killed themselves. No. But I'm saying the reason you exercise and the reason you eat better is because spiritually this helps lessen the load. That's a fact. That's it has nothing to do with what you are now. Yes, it can help your what you are now, but spiritually those things help you too. The right diet, exercise, and the way you interact with people help you have a better life. All right? Well, I think I'm gonna crash. Thank you guys. What is it? I swear I never exaggerate, but I can't stand people that do. But we were at a part of a Farmington River. It was kind of private. It was just us. Some guy wasn't with it, jumped us. Jumped and saved me after I yelled for drowning. I looked at the guy and he was gone. Mr. Bringing up the story. First time last year, my mom said this was the same story when it happened when she was 5. Wow. Knew she was almost drowned, but I never knew she went to the light. Wow. One thing about my dad, he wanted to go to, because he didn't want to be 100 years old being trapped. Yeah. I mean, that's what I read people, and is I was just listening to, the short video, I really can be with people and their lives flash by me. If I take that interest, I can really read people and their lives flash by me. So I have to turn that off. And so as I see these people, I see that's what it is. These people, I mean, again, these people live marvelous. To live in a rest home and it's hospitalish, but it's still, if something happened to you, it's people to take care of you. It's people to prepare your meals, people to take you to physical therapy. I mean, all this is good in some ways. But at some point, it's like, is it still worth it? Is it really still worth it? And see, this Yada Boeth wants you to live forever, because these beings that benefit off this is all they got. And they're part of their job is to convince you to give up your immortality. That's what religion hit you with. Religion tries to convince you to give up immortality, because that's what you're promised, that's what you're given, that's what you're born with. You're born with immortality. And you just have to follow the keys and find the keys to follow into it. But all these other beings don't want you to be immortal. They want you to be mortal. They want this to mean everything. And I'm not promising no better tomorrow, but I'm gonna tell you this: once you learn where you're going, you fear this less. Once you comfortable leaving your body and see where you go, you don't. This means less. Now I love all my people, and I'm gonna say this. Ooh, take me off of even there. All right, I'm gonna say this. Okay. Things happen, and I talk all the time about not creating stories. Because we get news, and the news, good or bad, we start creating a story about that news. Some of us can have feelings, and these feelings, then something happens, and it's like you've had the feeling all day, and then you get hit with this. It's like, damn, that's why. I mean, the feeling came before the event was even told to you, but yet you felt it. And you try not to write stories. And this spiritual mission is not always really easy. It's like, it's almost torture sometimes. It really is. I mean, some of these stories and some of these adventures are not positive. And all the people out there, you know, love and namaste, it's not really like that. As you declare who you are and they know who you are, the attacks just don't stop. And it's like, maybe it's good for me, but it's somewhere else it ain't good. And it's like, how do you deal with it? How do you comfort somebody that goes through it? How do you not make this story? Because when you're sitting and waiting, the natural mind just makes stories as you sitting and waiting. And despite being, cipher, and knowing it's not real, despite it not being real, it hurts just as much as it is real. And I guess that's the part of reality. That's the part of reality that you still have to be strong. As my old college said, you got to fight even though you want to cry. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.